Hi everybody. Mental health problems like depression is quite common. It's very common worldwide. Depression, and then you've got anxiety. Then you've got bipolar, schizophrenia. There are many conditions of mental health problems, but commonly as well. But I want to talk about stigma because even though it's common and there are many people that are suffering with some kind of mental health problem, there is still stigma out there. Now, stigma is negative. It's a negative behaviour towards and discrimination towards mental health problems. It's the discrimination based around it, the behaviour of negative towards mental health in itself, like stigma from in society, how it's been perceived, the behaviour there. Like for example, like languages, like the words for towards mental health, someone suffering mental health problems like crazy, psycho, lazy, and so forth. Now that is stigma. That's just stigma there. So, but also as well, it has a great impact on many people that are suffering with mental health problems as well, with their recovery, but not being able, like the stigma there, like their recovery impacting on their symptoms of how they're feeling because of like socially disconnecting them, self-isolating away from society because of it. Even getting that help or treatment that they need to help with it, because with the right treatment there, having that treatment is very important for somebody that is suffering with mental health problems, because it will enable them to move forward in their recovery. Because many people, like as they portray it as well, find people with mental health problems find it difficult getting a job, holding down a job, and so forth. Like so, in the employment, um, just socially connecting with other people, being out in the community with other people doing day-to-day things that other people do that aren't suffering with mental health problems. Now, that isn't true either, because with the right support network and treatment there, a person that has a mental health problem can move forward with their recovery and be able to create and have that ability to learn and be able to live a normal life and help with their day-to-day living, and be able to get that support there towards employment or even education and so forth. They have the ability, just like anybody else that can, that goes out to work or education and so forth, or socially connecting with other people. The ability is there. It just needs a bit more support and, to be able to get back on track again. But it can be done. There is hope there. People even come through their illness, come out the other end and find like the things that they want to do, that they can do, and connect with and learning to socially connect with others again, and just living a happy life, starting to live a fulfillable happy life. So the stigma there, so a lot of it is from people's behaviour on lack of understanding, a lack of understanding around mental health problems of how people are really suffering, what they really go through. Yes, it is hard for them. It's very hard for them. It may be a dark place for them from time to time, but they start to overcome those problems. Eventually, that's their recovery. So having that treatment there, the right treatment for whatever your condition is very important. So going back to the stigma as well, like social media, media, how media has perceived people with mental illnesses, like how it's been looked upon, like dangerous, violent, criminals. They're dangerous. They're violent. That's not true. But it's how people have perceived that because of that, and started, and then the fear built around it. The fear that's built around mental health, like people with mental health problems, people fearing them, like the fear there, when it's misconceptions there. I think that's the right word, because at the end, let's get this right. At the end of the day, the person that's suffering with a mental health problem is far less likely to be violent, commit a crime and be violent towards somebody. They're more likely to be the victim. They become the victim, become vulnerable, and then they're the vulnerable person. They become vulnerable because they become the victim of being attacked. They're more likely, they won't, how it's all portrayed around it, they would probably more likely harm themselves than harm someone else. Now that's sad, isn't it? To harm themselves to get out, that's how bad mental health problems are, with it all. And that's what we need to understand around it. So we should be supporting them. We should be encouraging them and giving them a bit of support there. Taking away that stigma. There shouldn't be stigma. Like I said, there's mental health problems are really common. They're more common. Common, like I said, depression and anxiety, and even like schizophrenia. There's been a lot of stigma based around schizophrenia as well. All mental health problems, but like you hear like schizophrenia because of the symptoms there. They think, oh, they're going to go out, like I said, the media, they're going to go out and caught like an act of crime, of violence. They're the victims. They're the victims in this, and that's what we need to, and people need to understand. Now, I understand it. I've got a bit of understanding around it, and like many other people probably have as well, but there are many people out there as well that haven't got that understanding towards it, and getting that understanding towards it will take away that stigma, because that's what's doing it, the stigma, and it's causing a lot of problems as well for many people that are out there that are suffering with mental health problems, because it can hold them back on their recovery, hold them back from being socially connected with other people. They should, mental health should not be separated. It shouldn't be them and us. It's us all together. We should see them as, we shouldn't look at them as that person with. They are a person that whatever they got is just a diagnosis of something, which there is hope for mental health. There is hope there. We should be giving them a bit more hope and encouragement rather than the stigma that is built around it. Let's show a bit of kindness. Bring kindness to it. Bring some kindness towards mental health. which is positive. Kindness is positive. Let's bring positive to mental health rather than negative, because that will help many people that are out there that are in that predicament because of the stigma that is impacted on towards them and the discrimination towards them. It will help those people, help them to, and give them that encouragement to get that treatment, that treatment, and to start their recovery and make that change. We should be making that change, changing it from pulling away from that stigma that is based around mental health and changing it to kindness, bring some positive there to help and support those that are suffering with mental health problems. Like I said, there are many people out there that are suffering with mental health problems, and it isn't going to stop as the world we live in. If you take this past year or over probably nearly a year and so many months, the pandemic, the COVID, how much that has impacted on people with their mental health. So we should be learning a lesson there and getting a bit more understanding around mental health, because that will help pull away from the stigma. And also as well, for people out there that are in a position to tell their stories of what is going, with their mental health stories, if they're in a position to, because that will help people with a bit better understanding towards mental health. Bring it out into the open. Have mental health into the open. Have it there. Keep it in the conversation. We need to keep it in the conversation to pull away from that stigma. That stigma is negative, and it should be replaced with something positive like kindness to help those that are out there suffering, because mental health is really hard for many people, and it's not something that is easily overcome. It takes a while. It takes treatment. It takes hard work, working through it. But with that stigma there, if someone is having an impact because of that stigma, that in itself is holding people back from being able to do that. So I'm going to end the video by saying, if there is anybody out there that is in that predicament of like the impact of stigma on their mental health, I would say a message to those people by saying, get the treatment, treatment is very important. You can move forward with it. There are people out there that you can trust, because that's what another thing as well, trust. Go for that help. Take those first steps and get that help, and you will start your recovery, and eventually you will see a change in how you're feeling within yourself as well. So I'm going to end the video there. Please share this video because it's very important. There may be, this video may help some people or someone, but stigma isn't a place for mental health. It should, like I said, it should be changed. That we should be putting away from that now and changing that attitude towards mental health for the good, for the better, giving people hope and encouragement there. So yeah, please share this video and see you in the next video.